Nice to have you here on this talk. This is my second talk this year. First one was on things that I've done to org mode. Just as a side note, this presentation that I'm going to share with you about my work on Corfu and yasnippet, I've prepared that on org mode and exported that with a work I've been doing with to the LaTeX exporter. Anyhow, what is my talk going to be about? It's going to be about Corfu and yasnippet, which I thought would be difficult to integrate, and it was much easier than I thought. So just a short outline, my motivation, step by step of the things that I've been investigating, and some takeaways. So my motivation, yasnippet is old. So I've tried Temple and other template management packages, but it was really not my cup of tea. So mainly why? Mainly because I have a nice base of yasnippets I have generated for my needs. So it's not that I've been importing snippets from packages which are out there. No, they are my snippets. I'm used to them, and of course, migration comes at a cost. I've been using company as my completion point function GUI for years, but with the time coming in features and so on, it was not as easy to set up as I wanted for my needs. So I had been I've been playing with eglot already some time for a language server protocol. I had read about how easy it was to integrate with Corfu, which was really nice, and I had given it a try, but I'm using both graphical user interface mode in Emacs and text mode, and for text mode you need a corfu terminal, which was yet another package that I don't download. So wow, and I didn't really find a quick way to get rid of company to get yasnippet. So at the end, at the beginning when I was using Corfu and eglot, I also needed to load company to have yasnippet support, which was really like sort of weird because I wanted to get rid of yasnippet. Anyhow, why try now? I'm following the mailing list, the development mailing list, and I got interested when I heard something about TTI child frames being announced for master. That would mean less packages to download because I thought I could get rid of Corfu, and I wanted to try if I could get rid of Corfu terminal and run Corfu without that. So there were some hints there, and that in that thread in a mailing list that made it interesting for me. And at the end, I'm also like a why not trying man. So I said, let's give it a try. My requirements, I'm working always on a new Emacs or a decently new Emacs, normally from master vanilla, completely vanilla. I don't have any extras like Doom or things like that, so I'm on vanilla. And one of the things that I don't want is that on this vanilla recent Emacs, I don't want Corfu terminal. I need yasnippet. Basically, old dog doesn't know the tricks, and snippets must, in my way of working, must be easy and quick to configure. And Temple or others that I've seen are not. I don't want any reminiscence of a company in my setup, and of course, don't forget that I've embraced the language server protocol implementations and basically eglot. My main focus now is Python and LaTeX, and I have PyLSP and TechLab, and I don't want to have to stop using them. So basic setup for Corfu and eglot, you can find it everywhere you look for it. It's really easy. And actually, I also do something somehow naughty, which is to set this variable, the Corfu auto variable, to true. Although I know it's not recommended, blah blah blah. but I use that because I'm a bit lazy in that. So next step was looking at completion at point functions. So the information there, if you go through it, is scattered and sometimes a bit cryptic. At the end, I came up with something like the thing that you see there on the screen. So it's a function for just completion at point. So I need my list of keywords so that I'm going to be talking later. And I have my bounds, which is normally a word. And from that, I get the start and the end of the thing that I want to be my seed for looking and bringing up Corfu. And of course, I need some completion properties here. This looked like this is what you need to do, but I had to dig quite deep to create a yasnippet keyword list and to understand the completion props. And as an update of what I've been doing in the last weeks, I've created a bound of things at point for me with a different thing that doesn't skip over non-blank character, that only skips over non-blank characters. Why? Because Word was confusing later, because the backslash, like in this in the example for the teletype text, was not taken into account by Word. So I had to create my own one, which was a bunch of thing at point, and then my thing is non-blanks. Completion at point properties. What are they? They allow Emacs to know how to handle the information for a specific completion type. So you normally will have an annotation, which then can disappear if you use nerd icons Corfu, which is what I'm doing currently, but I keep it commented just in case I get tired of Corfu and I want to have my completion function. Then the company kind is not something that comes from the company. Well, something that comes from the company package, but does not require, and that's going to allow nerd icons Corfu to identify and put the right icon there in the completion list, as you will see in a couple of minutes. So it's a snippet key. So basically, what this is telling you is that this is a snippet keyword. These two lines, either line, tell you that this is a snippet keyword, and that it should be added, and that it should be added to the other completions that you already have in your list. Problems looking now next step, once I had the completion props, which was relatively easy, was to go and get the keyword list right. I've been looking at pre-existing solutions, like for example how the menu is built in by yasnippet, and it looked a bit like Mission Impossible. Because the approach by all these, by all the things that I have seen and I've examined, is to get the keys and the names, and then have then further process them. My take was, do I really need both? At the end, if I use my own snippets, I'm going to be using something I would call meaningful keys for them, or at least meaningful for these keys are meaningful for me, and I try not to repeat them because it makes little sense to repeat a keyword. So why not center everything around the keys only? And can that help simplify my code? So I started to dive into yasnippet, and I found a lot of useful semi-hidden functions there. I discovered that getting the lists, the list of keys for a given mode was not that difficult. And at the end, what I started doing is get all the snippet tables used by a major mode, and get the lists of the keys that you have in each table. Sometimes the list is empty, so it's going to return a nil, and that you have to discard. And when you're using structured snippets, like snippets and submenus and so on, to get a structured menu. You need to filter. You also get some non-strings that you need to filter out in order to be to get a workable keyword list. So at the end of the day, what I had was something like this. I had for a mode, I went through all modes, associated to that, and then I got my results from all the tables that I had for a given table. So what you do is you get the tables that are associated to a mode, because surprise, surprise, some modes have more than one table, and then what you do is you filter out all non-strings from each of the keys list that you have for each table. So as you see, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 liner, which was not too much. By the way, if someone from yasnippet is around, I sent a pull request to include this as a public function in yasnippet, because it might be nice to have it in a packet in order to do this kind of things. So fine-tuning, I just adding a yas completion to the completion point functions was not enough. I don't really know, but exclusive node didn't seem to work how I wanted. So I needed to use cape. Sorry. Yeah, I was saying I was getting rid of packages, and I had to add one package in order to get a function, which is very, very nice, and which is part of the cape function of the cape package, and that's cape-capf super. So at the end, using that, you define an alias which for that, where you use cape-capf super to have a list of what you want. So in this case, for example, for the demo I'm going to make, I'm using yes completion and then the alias completion at point function provided by Emacs. I combine them using cape-capf super, and with that I create a new completion at point function, which I call cape list mode. And then I add this alias to the completion functions list. And with that, it is enough. Snippet expansion, if you want to have your snippets expanded automatically, you have to add an exit function to the to the completion properties, yet another function that you have to add. And to avoid this automatic selection to be too eager, you need to add this set corfu on exact match to nil, because otherwise you will always get the snippet expanded even if you don't want it. Basically, why? Basically because this would be suboptimal because the key can appear as part of a variable name. So another nice thing, I'm also creating my own themes. I'm trying to have very sleek themes that only cover the modes that I use, and for that I have my own theme create fork from the original theme creator, and there I've in my personal fork that I'm running at home, I only have the faces for the modes I use. I don't want to overload the theme with too much different things. So looking at this, I really didn't need, as you will see now, I don't need to add anything to my themes, because the default faces for Corfu adapt quite well to most of the themes. So if I go back to my checklist, decently in Emacs, yes, compiled. The one you'll see in the demo I'm doing is a master compiled the day before yesterday. So, and I don't need Corfu terminal there. I need yasnippet, and you're going to see that in a second with a couple of snippets that I can expand here. I don't want any reminiscence of a company in my setup, and there's none. Well, actually, company kind is there. You see the company there, but it isn't defined by companies, strictly speaking. And I don't want. I need eglot integration, which I will also be showing you. Takeaways from all this: if you accept the extra burden of Corfu Terminal 4 Emacs 30 or earlier Emacs 30s, it's not too difficult to get this setup running. Corfu was easier to integrate and configure than company, and it's much lighter in terms of number of lines, etc. I learned a lot. Well, I actually, yes, with the help of Cape, but it is much lighter and much easier to integrate and configure. I've learned a lot about completion at point functions in the process, which is something that is always nice to learn new things. And the nerd icons Corfu makes at least at this point in time, I might get tired of it, but at this point in time, it makes a very nice overall look and feel for Emacs. Requests to whom it may concern. Cape has nice features that maybe could make their way into Emacs. I'm thinking basically about this Cape super Cape functionality, which is very nice, and overcomes the problem of linking and this exclusive and all this kind of things that we have currently in Corfu with the completion at point functions. Corfu is also really nice to have, and it's not too big. So, is there any possibility that it makes its way into Emacs? Please keep yasnippet alive. I'm not saying here that my pull request should be there, but it would be nice if someone took a look and made it part of yasnippet. And PS, currently on master, there's a lot of semantic highlighting going on, which is very, very nice. No criticism on that. But you may need to add to your snippet hook this simple simple value for local value for fontify semantically, because at least in my case, I felt that the faces were a bit too pushy, so I had to make the snippet mode use the old Emacs Lisp fontification. This would be my talk. Any initial reactions to this? There's a question here. Someone asked, did you try yasnippet-capf? If so, what did you miss from this approach? I tried that, and it's not that I missed anything. It was more or less that I wanted to do it myself. So I wanted to see what was behind it. That's my answer. I also there are lots of packages there, but I try to keep learning. So this was a nice objective to learn a bit more about Emacs. And now, just a second. Now a small demo. This is the interaction, and as you see, I have the yasnippet there, and I have a couple of snippets. So for example, if I would like to say I want to define a function, I can go like this. And what you see here is that I have two snippets appearing and then some variables. So I could go for the def one, or if I want a key map, for def key map, which would be something like this. And then when I press enter, I get directly into the map, and I could say like new key up, throw off map. Then it sets out directly a prefix T, which is something that I asked for in Emacs master. So with prefix T, for those who prefix to true, for those who don't know it, it makes integrating this into into mappings, into key maps in use package much easier. So the next thing would be I would write a description, like for example a cool show of key map, and then my keys and my functions, and that would be it. Of course, you also have like this define function, and of course you can say that's nice, but there's no but you're not showing the integration with eglot, and you're right. So I'm going just to open up a small program that I'm currently developing in Python, which is a tool to do things in MP3. And here I would have like all these things. As you see here in the bottom, service running, file is local, eglot is active. So I have my eglot stuff, and if then I go down and I want to add a new argument here, I would go like I would go like add flag, for example. I would add a flag, and I would get a new flag to add here. Oops. And of course, this is integrated into eglot, so I'm getting here information about what I have, and I could actually, I don't know, I don't have OS, so I would need to import here, but I can go, and if I go up just to see, I can, if I would like to, for example, create a new regular expression. I'm getting this information that you see right now on corfu. I'm getting that from eglot. So you see there's the integration with eglot 2. In Python, I have eglot. And as you've seen, I also have and all these are snippets. Fine. More reactions and questions? Because that would be my show off here. Any questions? Any more questions on the pad? But anyhow, I'm going to try yasnippet too, and I'm going to be answering this question more.
Yeah, time is good.
Okay, fine. So I would be done if there's no more reactions.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If you have any other questions, folks, you can always follow up on the pad. That was a great demonstration, and I'm sure lots of people are looking forward to to trying it out. Oh, I see some questions coming in now. You may go ahead if you like.
Okay, fine. What there's someone asking what do special characters in yasnippets work well too? What kind of I don't use special characters in the key name, so in this case everything works quite nicely. And then I'm passing the control to yasnippets. So if there's any problem in yasnippets with special characters that I don't know. I don't use that as a key. So I'm just using for key names. I normally use I only use letters, but that should work. I mean, let's give it a try. Let's kill here. No, yes. I don't want to touch this. Let's go into this one. Let's say I'm going to define this, for example, like this, and I'm going to create a new snippet. I'm going to create a new snippet and use this is, for example, when you look at this, if you have the new the new way of the new Emacs semantical highlighting working, this would be quite cramped. This is why I'm using. This is why I set the snippet. So, is this more or less what you're talking about? This is what you're talking about. Snippet. Save the snippet. So I'm going to. Snippet. Load and put window. And Lisp interaction mode. Yes, I'm going to save, and I'm going to save that as fd test and the file. No, I'm going to save this. Load and quit window. I'm going to put this in Emacs Lisp mode. I want to save it. No. Bleh. Come on, bueno. Venga. I'm going to write that directly into Emacs Lisp mode. Fine, so console, and then we're going to go back into our scratch buffer, and here I have it, and we have it here, but anyhow, and I'm just going to try to see if I say like empty. Of course, there's only one, so it will not show in Corfu, but I mean, I don't have any problems in that, with that, as you see. Was that what you were meaning?
Yeah, I guess that works.
Fine, so.
All right, shall we wrap up here so that you can have supper and the folks in other time zones can have lunch and other things?
Okay, fine. For me, you were hoping to see the drop down. Just a second. I think we can do that too. 2 seconds. How can we do that with a drop down? Yeah, if I say something like this, and then I go and save it, and I'm going to go and write this into with a second. Fine, and now I need to quit here, sorry, and I'm going to come back in a second with another Emacs that I'm bringing back. And now let's see what we have in yasnippets. It's not there. Why not? Just a second. Let's see if I go
I don't know if
CD.
it matters that the name was that didn't have the characters in the beginning.
Oh, just a second. I think I know what is happening here. Do I have here the no ls? So I have them. I'm going to clean. I did no.
Oh, you're back in your home directory is why. Just CD dash to get back, yeah.
Yeah. So we
That's
have
right. So
something
you
like
see how
that.
the name also has, it doesn't have the same as the key, so I don't know if that affects what shows up in the menu.
Yeah, but we can try that. So that's a quick one. This is my fine. Now that I have this, which is going to be quicker. We check again. They both seem to be the same now,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that affects, but anyhow, let's try. I go and then I look at the yasnippets. If it's there, yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's there. Yes, so.
And then if I say def, there you are.
Oh, look at that.
That doesn't seem to be affecting.
Fantastic.
And by the way, it is there.
Yeah, I really should spend time getting more templates set up with yasnippet. I really love the fact that you can evaluate Emacs Lisp in it too.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
Just to make you bigger, try that, because if I go into my, for example, into my org mode stuff, and in my org mode, I go to the article, which is one of the big ones. I have things like, for example, I defined a couple of functions here to do. If it's empty, if that is empty, just add a white space. If one is empty, add a white space. Add a white space here so that it becomes a comment. I have functions to do more things on that, and I also have like menus to see what language I want to choose for my spell checking and so on. So, and that's all. That's, as you see, this is Lisp being evaluated. So yes, do. I really encourage you.
I've also heard people use it, like especially if they're working in different programming languages,
Yes.
so they can just have the syntax for the different languages be condensed into a consistent abbreviation.
Yeah, no, that's and look, this is my article. I have another. This is when I'm writing articles.
Nice,
I have another one. I have another one for writing letters in org mode and so on. So it's like letter block, and you have the complete infrastructure, and you don't have to type it by hand. So it's really nice.
I think it might be nice to have a future Emacs Carnival, shared blogging theme thing be around having people share their snippets.
No, snippets and other things like, for example, this is something stupid. I'm switching my themes. I'm cycling my themes.
All right.
And of course, there you see, I have also, this is also with a, this is my way of switching buffers, which is with the Shift, Control, and Tab. I can
Oh
switch
yeah.
different families, and then when I'm in a family, I can go and switch with Control Tab between the different tabs. I'm using tab line, by the way, I'm not using the other one. I'm using the old plain tab line
Mm-hmm. All right.
with my themes. So that's more or less everything.
Thank you for the peek into your workflow.
Okay,
And
fine.
I will
No
work on
problem.
getting the recordings for the live talks sorted out at some point very soon. I might even be able to get them out next week. So thanks
Okay,
again.
fine. Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
All right. Have a nice supper.
Same to you. Bye.